Alright, it's about 1900. Clouds and fog still haven't cleared up, but you can see a little bit out there. Some of the mountain peaks over there. I did run into West Glacier today, which is like a little village, basically. I'm going to go whitewater rafting tomorrow at 10. I seriously doubt I'll be able to take my camera. So unfortunately I probably won't get any footage of that, but I'm going to see if I can get my camera inside like a, I don't know, a Ziploc bag or something and try and do some recording anyway. It's still pretty though. I don't know if I'll be able to take my camera. I'm hoping I will, because they said that, you know, you get to go rafting through the park. You should be able to see some really cool stuff, even if it's cloudy. I think I'm going to try and get some sleep. Alright, it's about 7:30 in the morning. There we go. Okay. Alright, I am driving on going to the Sun Road. I figured I went rafting. I did go whitewater rafting. Unfortunately, I couldn't use my camera because when we got started, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually going to be like real rapids. I'm going to lose my camera if I do it this. But there's a nice guy at a camera shop I stopped at who told me that if I go going to the Sun Road and go all the way up to Avalanche, which is as far as the road is open right now, then I'll see Avalanche Creek, which apparently is super cool. I believe, from what I understand, going to the Sun Road is like 60 miles long total, but only like 15 miles of it are open because of snow, basically. There's still, you know, buckets of it in the park still. So, I was tired after I went rafting today, but I figured it'd be a nice end to the day to go check this place out. I'm planning on leaving tomorrow, so I figure I want to get that done. Also, I kind of like to stop in the right before the entrance. There's a little building. It's the Alberta Welcome Center, which is, you know, like Alberta, Canada. I kind of like to stop in there. I've never tried poutine, and I would really love to, because it just sounds like the most amazingly horrible, delicious thing for you. So, if I can find a place that has any kind of Wi-Fi at all, I'm gonna, because Canada's only like 20 miles from here. It'd be nothing to just jaunt up there, and then, you know, and then start southeast towards Wyoming. I think, I was looking at maps, and I believe Yellowstone is probably about 300 miles southeast, I think. Don't quote me on that. So I got a landslide. So, it shouldn't be that bad of a drive. Somebody told me it was like 7 or 8 hours, but I don't know, maybe if I hit it at night, or if I do most of the, like, long stretch driving at night, then it shouldn't be that bad. I can do that in one day. That won't be a problem. Now, hopefully I'll see something cool back here. I know I've got about 10, 11 miles to go. I was hoping to catch a little bit of the... This is still Lake McDonald over here. Unfortunately, there's, well, not unfortunately, but there's all this kind of scrub brush in the way, so you can't see it as well. And it would help, I suppose, if I wasn't pointing the camera at the windshield, or the door thing. Whitewater rafting today was awesome. Everybody needs to do that at least once. I had a blast. We went, you know, obviously over rapids, and we got soaked, and we all had to wear wetsuits. Like, we all had to get all geared up. It was great. And on our boat, there was a professor from Boston University and his son. There was our guide. There were two people who were training to be guides. And then there were a man and his daughters who, like, when I heard them talking, like, amongst their family, I was like, you know, it sounds kind of Germanish, but not. Like, it just had that kind of a rough edge to it. And so I thought, well, maybe they're more Scandinavian leaning. But as it turns out, the guy was Russian. His name was Sergio. And he looked just like Simon Pegg. I wanted to tell him, but, like, I felt kind of weird, like maybe he would be offended. Although, not everybody knows who Simon Pegg is. His daughters were Tanya and Anna. And, I mean, they all spoke Russian. But obviously on the boat with all of us there, they spoke English. Which was nice of them. But Sergio was super cool, man. There was one part where our guide, on a kind of a flat patch of water, he kind of slowed the boat down. He's like, hey, anybody want to take a swim? And we were like, yeah, dude, awesome. And then, Sergio was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, if you guys want to jump in. And so I was like, hell yeah. And I put my paddle down and jumped into the water. And then Sergio jumped in first, and then I jumped in second. Then they hauled us out. That water was cold. I think it was probably 38, 40 degrees. It was pretty brisk water. Brilliant shade of green, though. Beautiful. So they hauled us out, and the Boston professor, like, looked at the two of us, and he's like, I now know not to mess with either of you. So me and Sergio high-fived over that. He was a cool dude. I liked him. He was super fun. And, like, they asked the Boston professor, like, have you seen any wildlife since you got into the park? And he's like, I've seen chipmunks and stuff. He's like, and I've seen a lot of Russians. And Sergio just freaking busted out laughing. He was he was so cool. And his daughters were super sweet. They were real nice girls. They must have been, they might have been like 14. They seemed kind of young. But, yeah, we had a blast. I would definitely do it again. We had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm tired, but it was awesome. And after I got out of there, I went to this little, just this little restaurant, basically, that's connected to a gas station by the motel I'm staying at. And the people in there were, the two women who were working in there were really, really nice. And I had a buffalo burger, and it was delicious. And then they had homemade caramel apple pie, and yeah, I had a food baby. I went back to the motel, took a shower, and then I was like, all right, well, let's finish the day off, because otherwise I'm going to fall asleep and then wake up at 10 and be wide awake and without any internet, so I can't entertain myself. Also, since I don't have the equipment or anything to camp here, doing the whitewater trip was a great way to see some of the park. And then I saw this on the side of the road. Figured I'd stop and have a look. Oh, I'm sorry. Green hue of the water is actually how it looks. That's not camera at all. Apparently, I was going to say in the summer, because technically it's summer, but it's like 50 degrees here. But later on, when all the, runoff from the snow is done, you'll be able to see about 40 feet down into the water. They told us on the rafting trip that you can see, just straight down, 40 feet, easy. Feels like glass. When we were rafting, our guide told us that like this weird red stone here, like this stuff we've seen everywhere, is I guess left over from when the Rocky Mountains were basically formed, like, you know, the continental, sorry, I can't bring, when the continents smashed together. It actually lifted some rock and stuff from the ocean floor and brought it up to ground level where we're at right now. And he said that's where some of that red stone comes from, and some of the other stone that looks like volcanic material. They said is actually from the ocean floor and left over when the plates collided. You can see right down into that water. I don't know if the camera will be able to get it or not, but you can. When we were rafting, the water was this color. Some of it was really cloudy. They said because of the runoff. You know, when the snow melts, it collects dirt and silt and all that jazz. They said in a couple weeks it'll clear up as soon as it settles. And then you'll be able to see all the way to the bottom. Oh yeah, this is the Avalanche Lake Trail, by the way. I think the guy at the camera shop said creek, but I believe that they're probably the same thing. I didn't see anything for that. Avalanche Creek Trail. Big ass fucking rock. All these stupidly large animals. All these stupidly dangerous traps. Big ass rock. Really thinned out now that we're getting farther in. Air is so humid back here. It smells, well, it smells green. Not as much like pine as I thought it would, though. I guess there are a lot of cedar trees back here. They have it like in the back. Hello.
Je regardais l'autre jour chez
Hello. Hello.
It's choking.
Oh, I bug you with a question?
No.
Do you know if this trail, does it go in a loop, or does it just go all the way down and you turn back around?
It goes all the way to dead ends at Avalanche Lake.
Okay.
Which is probably, gosh, it's going to be at least another 45 minutes up from here, I bet.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. And then you turn around and come back.
Oh, okay.
And then the loop trail is a cedar trail. So, like, the cedar trail is like a big loop for the cedar trees. And then it shoots off to this. You can come back and then finish the loop on the cedar trail part. And the cedar trail part's like the 0.8 mile loop that's like all paved or whatever, or wheelchair accessible. So that's part of this trail, but at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused. Okay. Thank you.
I know. We were doing some explaining to asshole.
Thank you guys much. Alright. Call me a wimp, but after 2.5 hours of whitewater rafting today, and I've already been out here for a while, I'm kind of ready to call it a day. I saw what Jeff from the camera shop wanted me to see, so. I'm going to start back down, and then I'm probably going to go back to my room, rinse off, and probably go to bed. Well, now, wait a second. It's earlier than I think it is. It's just dark because of all the trees in here. So, hey, come to Glacier, you'll have fun. thanks. I don't know if I mentioned in the other videos that I made, but I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. But in Glacier, in West Glacier specifically, like, there were 3 different occasions where I went in somewhere, and, like, I was checking in, or I paid with a credit card and stuff, and people kept asking me about my last name, and that's really, really unusual, because, like, in Indiana, I have always been the only Ridenauer ever. The only other Ridenauers I ever met were members of my family, like, and, you know, people were constantly, like, asking me how to say it, how to spell it, like, so it was very unusual, for one, people to constantly be pronouncing it correctly and already knowing how to spell it, and then they kept asking if I was related to, one guy asked, he asked if I was related to the Ridenauers down in the valley, another one asked me if I was related to the Ridenauer who worked at the post office, like, and then I went to the motel that I'm staying at, and the lady there asked if I was related to the Ridenauers who owned the Lake 5 Resort. So finally I got curious, and I decided to go and meet these guys, because, like, I've never met other Ridenauers before, and the guy looked a little bit nuts, but he was perfectly nice, but his grandfather was born in Bourbon, Indiana, and his name is Ronald, well, the man himself was Ronald Ridenauer. His father's name was James Henry, and his mother's name was, oh my gosh, Onai Maud from Oklahoma. And it was just like, it's such a weird coincidence that I would be out here, and then, yeah, apparently it's a pretty common name around here, which of course I had no idea, but it's just so strange to just happen to meet, like, these guys are definitely, they have to be distant cousins of my family. It's just, I mean, you know, especially with James Henry Ridenauer being born in Indiana, and I think I remember that name, but I'm going to have to scroll back a little bit. And I told the guy that I would email him an invite so that he could see the ancestry tree that I've been working on for like 2 years. And if he was interested. Oh, it's only 45 through here. Oops. Thought it was 70. But yeah, I just thought that was so odd. And what a weird coincidence. So he gave me a postcard so that I could write a little bit of his information on it, and he gave me his siblings' names. And so, yeah, as soon as I get some internet access again, I'm gonna have to do that. Go look and see if he's actually in there, because it sounds familiar, but I don't want to, you know, presume that it is. But it's just weird. Like, holy crap! Like, come here and run into distant cousins of my father's family. Like, that's crazy. Oh shit! Oh, I can't turn. Oh. Ice cream sounds good. I don't know why I'm suddenly thinking of ice cream. But yeah. And then his cousin, Ronald Ridenauer, who owns the Lake 5 Resort, his cousin is Bud Ridenauer, who works in the post office right here in town. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Cool stuff, right?